Gerald here. Hey guys, how you doing? Steve here once again on the video. Thought I'd share some things with you today. Make another video. Um, I'll get to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness here in just a second. But let's go ahead and do that right now. What happened to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? When did we as a nation stop caring about participating in our government, about um, standing up for what we believe in, standing up for what's right, what's wrong? When did all this happen to where we kind of gave up on our country and just left it to somebody else? Somebody else knows what they're doing. They're better, they're better than me at this thing or whatever. I'm not taking the initiative to utilize your rights as a citizen, utilize your freedom of speech, utilize all the Bill of Rights, and stand up for those Bill of Rights. I don't know what happened, but here's what I have noticed is that when you look at the Lady of Justice, she's got a blindfold on, and then she's got balancing scales, and she's balancing the scales. And if you'll notice, one is always a little bit higher than the other. So this signifies that you're weighing the evidence, which means justice is blind and go off of the evidence as it's presented. Well, now we seem to live in a world where we take the blindfold off and we look at, okay, how do I make money? Make money this way, I make money this way, or what's beneficial for me, what's beneficial for whatever, instead of looking at it and not knowing who is on what side, but making your own decision based on the facts and the evidence that is provided to you. You have every right to form your own opinion, make your own statements, make your own cases. Where did we lose track of that, and where did we decide that that wasn't beneficial for us or the country or our nation? I don't know. That's a question that I'm asking everyone, but I do know that in my county, Angelina County, that for definite, the blindfold has been removed. They don't just weigh. There's other things that go into consideration besides just the evidence. For example, is it good for the county? Is it good for my precinct? Or is it better? Is it going to increase my status or whatever? You're going to get these people like me and these people I don't really care about or whatever. And of course, part of that's politics, but the bottom line of politics is to do the right actions so we can have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We have every right to pursue our happiness and to actually question our government whenever we don't believe that they're actually on our same team, same page. A lot of individuals don't utilize that anymore. A lot of individuals that I know have been browbeaten. They have been told to sit down, shut up. They have been gaslighted to the point, even to when you go into a commissioner's meeting or any political meeting or any political purpose, you are judged as soon as you walk through the door. They determine who should be heard, who should not be heard, who we're going to pay attention to, who we're not going to pay attention to. This is all based on your religion, what color you are, female or male. All of these parameters, you're being judged as soon as you walk through the room before you even actually say a word. You're put into a category. Oh, he's a troublemaker. He causes chaos. This person just asked too many stupid questions. This person over here wants information. So you get put in one of the many categories, and it's predetermined before you actually even get a word out of your mouth what you're going to say. And whenever you do ask questions, and if you do ask for documents that should be released to the public, when you do all these things, you are a shit stirrer. where there's somebody or whatever that have been called that or whatever. No, I'm not. It's just there. I just want to know what documentation that you're basing your opinion on. What led you to believe this opinion that you have and that you vote on as far as a political operative? I don't know, but somehow we've got it backwards. The fact is that we need to remember that they work for us. We hold them accountable. They are responsible for asking our questions, for answering questions. They are responsible for answering to us, period. Our county commissioners make $6,000 a month, I believe. And that's the last figure that I heard. I can't really get information on what one. I just know that they just got a raise here recently. And I think it's high time they earn it. Mistakes are going to be made. However, the fact is that the mistakes are limited to when you get the input from the public on each item that you're considering. When you take the public out of the equation, then you don't have a republic. And I say republic because the fact is that we have never officially claimed that we're a democracy. And we were not destined to become a democracy. We were a republic. In the words of Benjamin Franklin, when he came out of signing the Declaration of Independence, he said, "Sir, what have you created?" He said, "A republic, if you can keep it." That last word, a republic, if you can keep it, that means you have to fight for it. That means you have to, as a term I can't think right now, it's like you have to fight for your right to party. Well, you got to fight for your right to take advantage of life, liberty, and your pursuit of happiness. These truths are self-evident. Now, these things that I quote or whatever, a lot of people will say, "Well, where are you getting that from?" It's from our Constitution. It's from our great politicians who actually set out before us to create a more perfect union. And that perfect union has to be worked on every day. We are designed as human beings to get better, not to get worse, but to keep moving forward. And being stagnant or doing the things you've always done in the past does not invite growth, and it doesn't promote life, liberty, and it quells anybody's effort to pursue happiness. Now, with this in mind, we have decisions that are being made by our federal government that no one pays attention to. Because the fact is that it's all on CNN, it's all on Fox News, it's all over this place, and we get tired of freaking hearing about it. And I'll be honest with you, I could give a rat's ass about O.J. Simpson, okay? He died yesterday, and that's all that was on TV was about O.J. Simpson. We already lived that shit, okay? We already been through that. What do you want to do? Retry him or whatever? I don't need 24-hour coverage of O.J. Simpson. I've had enough of it. I got better things to do with my time than sit there and look at the freaking history of something that was played over and over and over and over and over again. I'm willing to bet you that the majority of people that I'm speaking to today, you can't even remember the day that John F. Kennedy was killed. You probably don't even remember the day actually that it happened. In 2001, the 9/11. You probably don't remember those, but you will remember the day O.J. Simpson was on trial. It's kind of backward thinking. You need to think forward and move forward to be able to be viable in this ever-changing economy, in this ever-changing evolution that we're going through. Every day you get older. Every day you should be doing something to prepare the individuals that are coming up behind you to either learn lessons, to make new things, to generate new business, to do all these things based on your efforts. So whenever you say that you're too busy to vote, when you say you're too busy to voice your opinion, when you say that people don't listen to me, when you say nobody's listening, or you're saying that nobody cares, whatever, yes, we as a collective group of individuals, if we get together and speak loud enough, start asking the same questions, then we will make positive change for our community and for the ones who are coming behind us. Also, we're letting the individuals who our ancestors, the ones that are still alive, we allow them to say, you know what, we'll take over now. You rest. Yeah, you earned your retirement. You earned this time off. We'll take the mantle now and take over in your stead. That's a general progression of life, I believe. So keep that in your brain housing group whenever you're too busy to vote, too busy to attend the meeting, to get caught up in your own drama that you have going around your house, and just say, you know what? If I don't do something, it's gonna get worse. Or if I do something, this will get better. Be that change. Be that person. Be that guy that you know that you actually are, and forget about who all has told you in your past that your voice is not your voice is not listened to. It's not heard. It's not. Be that guy. Be that guy. Be that guy. Because that way, when you're on your deathbed or whatever, you know what? Did the best I could. Did the best I could. Tried to make the world a better place. Lord, I tried. Lord, I pray. Would you help me do that? Now I'm ready to go. My life here on earth is done. But if you got an answer, if you got still blood pumping through your chest, you ought to be fighting for something. And you might as well be fighting for those who come behind you and to keep our republic. And it starts at the grassroots level. It starts locally. It starts here. That's the message that I want to send out. But I have other issues that I want to go and get through. I want to come to, I want to recognize our female veterans. And I don't really think that they, when they come back, they are stigmatized, because the fact is that they are considered that they didn't contribute as much because they weren't on the front lines. They weren't on. Let me tell you something. That's all bullshit. And here, let me tell you why. Because the fact is, a female soldier in Afghanistan or in a Muslim country, okay, they are the only ones who are allowed to touch and search another person, another female. Another female. If you are a male and you have, and just whenever females move in a Muslim, there's 4, 5, 6 of them, but there's always at least 1 or 2 guys there that make sure that they're, protection, but also the fact is make sure they keep them in line or whatever. So we got this idea, well, we can't search them, so they got to be searched because they're coming to our fob, they're walking around, and they have this job. It's just like this big blue dress. You can't even see their ankles. All you can see is just they all wear the same damn black shoes, and they're all pointed, whatever. So who's responsible for searching these individuals? Females. And they don't get enough credit because the fact is, let me ask you a question. If you walk up on a group of women with an IG on or whatever, you don't know. Suicide vest, you don't know they got an AK, you don't know if they got any kind of weapon. You don't know, because that's what they utilize to smuggle weapons inside the fob or actually get information into and out of. They use the women to do so, and our female soldiers are on the brunt of that, because the fact is that they have to go up directly. They have to search females that have never been touched by anybody else or whatever. This also goes to the females who actually ride in the convoys. Jessica Lynch was a perfect example. But anyway, females ride in convoys all the time. They experience the same IEDs, they experience the same suicide bombers, they experience the same VBIDs, experience the same thing. As far as actual combat, it's limited. But the fact of the matter is because it's the way that we choose it to be. But female military personnel have their own role to play, and yes, it is just as dangerous as their male counterpart parts. Sorry, excuse me. And yes, they do suffer from PTSD. Yes, they do suffer from the same illnesses or some of the stuff they get back. Because your little daughter that you've raised, who came up, now she's in the military, and she's going to go over downrange, and she's going to come back. She's going to see more in that period of time that she was deployed than you will ever see in your life, ever. She will see, our military, we will see the worst side of men and what a man or woman can do to each other. And that should be considered whenever you're like, go America, get some, bomb them. Okay, that's great. But until you're one that has to go over and do that, maybe you might want to calm down on that shit a little bit. So shout out to my female soldiers. And the reason why I've been watching this one Canadian female, and she was reiterating things that she went through or whatever. And when I go back, those are the things I remember from our females. Those are they stand checkpoints. They stand, and too oftentimes they're not given credit for that, or it's general perception that they don't really fight a war. They just go bullshit. Round ain't got no color on it. It ain't got this male or female. It's still coming at you, same speed, same velocity. So I wanted to give a shout out to the females who served with. I hate to use the word females. We used to call them. As a male, it was kind of hard. It's kind of hard to keep up with lingo. What we're supposed to call them. We call them WMs, women Marines. We call them, female soldiers. We call whatever. And most of the women I served with, they didn't care. It was like, you know what? It didn't really bother them. As far as they returned, they're one of the boys, and they're one of the boys, or at least the ones I experienced were combat. They were in combat with me, so it's like get in where you fit in. You go into the boys, and it's a give and take. Men respect women as women, and they respect us as men. But the fact of the matter is, we're all in this shit together. So guess what? And that generates camaraderie with male soldiers and female soldiers. But I also have in my brain housing group is that I don't want to see a female in combat. I don't want to see a female exposed to that kind of danger, and that's just my bringing up. Well, you're always supposed to protect girls. You're never supposed to take girls, whatever. Ladies, I'm sorry, but that's just the way we are. And I'm sure that if you've pounded the same ground that I have, that's hard for you. That's one of the things that male soldiers have a problem with that we're working on, but we're working on not just accepting you, but accepting the fact that, damn, she's in this shit, or whatever. Now, the next thing I want to go over is the fact is that the male perspective is, since you're raised this way, if there's anything negative or bad happening to a female, you want to react right there. You forget your job responsibility. You forget everything. There's a female over here, she's hurt, and you will fight tooth and nail to stay on focus and stay where you're at and do what you need to do to cover everybody else. But it will kill you inside. It will eat you up because you can't get over help her fast enough. That's just a male mentality. I know females who feel the same way. I have spoke to female military personnel who said, you know what, they feel the same way when a female goes down because they're not used to seeing that. Are there females who they have never thought of themselves growing up at being in that type of situation, and that's all it is. Give you a point. I served with the NATO forces when I was in Afghanistan, and we rubbed elbows with the Italians and Canadians. and also British soldiers or whatever. And in each individual service, females have a different role or whatever. But in each individual service, I noticed that like the Italian females, they were one of the boys. They talked like a sailor. Like they were one of the boys, and you knew it as soon as they hit ground. It's like, you know what? It's a different type. Well, because being an American, just different. Different type of female. And like she knows shit. I want her watching my. I want her with me whenever we go because they have moved past the fact is the male females that mentality. So I'm beating this dead horse to death. But anyway, um, from a perspective of a male personnel in the military and also for the female personnel, I understand your pain. I understand this or whatever. But now, don't let me forget. Don't let me leave this out because whenever female soldiers get back from being deployed overseas, then they search for ways to be feminine again. They search for who they were when they left or whatever. That's part of the recovering process for females. Is because how do you go from being dirty all day, to peeing in diapers, you know, nothing but mud, muck, dust, sand, storm, cold, all this or whatever, and then I've come back to uh, a feminist role. That's that's in itself is difficult. That's a different battle that they've got to fight. Not just adjusting just adjusting from the war, but also adjusting to where they fit in, with females or whatever. This is why you'll find that when you go to the VFW house, you go whatever, females they walk the walk and they talk the talk. They ain't ashamed of it. It's like, you know what, hey, I've been there, done that. You got a t-shirt, what do you got? And and you gotta respect that. You gotta respect that or whatever. So now let's next thing I want to talk about. Right now we are experiencing a bullshit of information coming out that Iran's gonna attack Israel, the whole 9 yards. Her whole fifth fleet is on red alert. Um, we've got our bases in Syria; they're on red alert. Everybody's expecting the worst, and I want to make this point: is that whenever you declare on post or out to sea or any military personnel, when you go to a red alert type situation, or you go to a threat and you bulk up your security, preparing for full rounds coming down range, or you're preparing to go to war. Camp commanders make this mistake all the time, and it's very difficult to even it out because you get these enlisted personnel, you get them up to you get them up to this level. Okay, I'm right, I'm ready to go, and freaking nothing happens. Well, pretty soon it gets to be just routine. A sense of urgency's gone, so whatever. So you ramped all these guys up, and now nothing happens. So guess what? You don't ramp them back down again. It just happens automatically until something starts blowing up around you. So that is a dilemma that we have for our troops that are downrange right now. Just don't think for a second that they are not they are not performing their duties. Matter of fact, they have stepped it up. I know of a lot of individuals, a lot of wives and kids of individuals I served with. I reached out to them, or they reached out to me, and I told them. They said we can't get a hold of him. We can't, we don't know where he's at. Blah blah blah. And I said, man, that's standard operating procedure because they don't want any information getting out. They put a clamp down on military personnel. So if you happen to be a military personnel and you can't get a hold of your loved one right now, this is why they have clamped down. If you used to be able to compute and have FaceTime or whatever, it's probably gone. Phone calls home, probably gone. And but there will be enough time whenever the stand down is called off to where you can actually catch up or whatever. Now, do not ask them and do not expect them to tell you where they're at. Do not ask them or expect them to tell you what's going on. Do not. They can only share so much information, and basically, it's this: how are you? How you doing? You're okay? Do you need anything? That's basically the conversation. The rest of that shit can be helped. The rest of that shit you can tell her or him or her or whatever your significant other when you get home. Right now, I'm freaking busy. Okay. I got shit going through my head right now. The sergeant's yelling at me. I got freaking LTs everywhere. I got more shit than I can handle. And I don't need no more from back home over here. So anyway, is the attack imminent from Iran? Everybody says yes. I look at it from a different perspective. Is that I'm not really worried about retaliation against Israel. That's their business. They started this shit, and that's. But here's the ones that I worry about is the ones that our troops are over there that are in Syria in these bases that they have no duty there. They're just there just as a form of presence, and they're on the skyline now. They are actually they are a target, or they could be a potential target. Um, and that is where my thinking is because they're just there in Syria and they're just sitting ducks. It reminds me so much of the Benghazi situation. It's just like, man, deja vu all over again. They're not serving any purpose. They know our threat levels there. Why in the hell were they still there? Well, I'm asking why are they still there. If you retreat in Afghanistan within 72 hours, why in the hell could they get out of there? It's a hot spot. But here's the way of thinking on our political levels. The fact is that we really can't act because Israel's thing, whatever. We can't really act. We can't take the next step forward or whatever. But soon as they bomb and they injure American soldier or military personnel, that's our green light. We go, and then we're going to go back to patriotic mode. Go get them. They kill her. They kill her. Oh, get some, or whatever. But again, they ain't the one that has to go, right? But this is this is where the politicians get in. Everybody on the run, so everybody's right. Everybody, oh yeah, ready for me or whatever. And it's like, damn, somebody somewhere like shit. I got to go do this crap again. God dang it! Why they start? It's like, no, but this is kind of just the way you'll use to be. God dang, why the hell do they have to start this shit right now? I'm supposed to be on leave in 2 weeks. I know. And leave is canceled. So if you had to leave, plan out, it's canceled right now. So just in the back of your mind, pray for these individuals who are downrange, Navy, Army, Marine Corps, Air Force, even the Coast Guard. All these guys are ramping up either in support operations, or they are actually getting ready to deploy to certain different areas, depending on the case scenario. Now, with that being said, is if you're a family of a soldier or a military personnel, I'm both. I was Army and I was Marine Corps. I was Marine Corps first, then I was Army. So I kind of talk back and forth between the services. But if you are a loved one, or if you are a dependent, or if you are a anyway connected, whatever shape, form, or fashion to a service member right now, realize that the stress that they're under, and they don't want to relay that stress to you. They're going to make everything feel great and whatever. Let them. It's very important to them, and that way they can carry on with their business. It's very difficult to keep your mind on the prize, to keep your eye focused on the thing. If something's wrong back home, if something's wrong, little Jimmy's got measles, whatever, something's wrong back home, it's going to mess with your head. And believe me, during this particular time, you don't need anything else in your head. You do not need to be going anywhere else except for concentrate on your mission and get it done and figure this out. I can tell them all this. I can tell them all this shit when I get home. Okay. So prayers to my soldiers, my Marines buddies. I know what the Marines are going through because you're on a Navy ship. Not only do you have the ramped up Marine Corps attitude, now you got the Navy ramped up. You got everybody freaking amped up, and everybody's going to do what they got to do, and it's just a whole different environment. So it'll only calm down whenever the first rounds are fired, and then we get to make a determination of what we got, who's been hit, where we've been hit, or whatever. But the thing that I want to avoid is another Beirut, Lebanon, another Benghazi. I want to avoid another Afghanistan debacle, and I want to avoid another 1975 Vietnam scenario where we just started throwing crap over aircraft carriers, helicopters off helicarrier, so we can take the civilians out. So I'm not making a prediction either way. It doesn't look good. And moving forward to the individuals who are actually there, this is what they train for. They can't help but be excited. They can't help but get they're amped up. Their adrenaline is pumping. The whole 9 yards. Really, really kind of think of their mindset going into it, especially the longer hours that keep going on, and that this alert has been going on or whatever. And trust me, Iran is doing this on purpose. They are physically and mentally getting to us, so we're not properly, so we can't respond properly, because the fact is that you can only stay awake so many hours a day. And if you're ramped up to this point, and you're waiting for things to happen, and you do get ragtime, you can't sleep. This is a very pivotal time for our military personnel, even though we may not be in a line of fire, but the events that are scheduled to come or predicted to come definitely going to change their MO. It's going to change their mission, and it's going to take their mindset and realize that you are the base of that foundation, of that framework, and that you are always on their mind, but they got the shit to do right now. And the reason why I say this, because you know what, I want to make sure I get home. Okay, first right now, I'm gonna make sure I get home first and deal with my mission, and don't want to let my buddies down, and don't want to let my command down. So anyway, I ran it on or whatever, but hopefully this appeases, or hopefully this will go to some military personnel who actually, the newbies, there's a lot of NCOs wives been through this crap before. They already know the 9 yards or whatever. But if you are you're married to a first-time soldier or a Marine or anyone in the service, and this is kind of brand new to you, reach out to the senior females. Let's say, for example, reach out to your seniors, NCOs wives, officers' wives, or whatever. And at this point in time, there may be a couple of meetings going on to give you word from the command. They're sending a direct message or whatever, and those things are allowed. So keep in touch with your base, the people that you know that serve with your husband and or female or ma'am, whatever the case may be. But keep in mind, there is places you can go to get some help or whatever, and don't freak out on yourself. Don't freak out on your kids, and start getting a phone call and establish some lines of communication so you can be better prepared, and also you can keep track of your loved ones downrange. My heart goes out to, and I pray for every person who's under this condition right now. I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and at this particular time, I just wanted to reach out and say if that you're in our prayers. I don't care how bad we don't give a shit back here, or it seems like we don't give a shit. Don't worry about that. Go take care of your business, get your ass home, and then maybe you get back home. Then you can actually speak out for other individuals who have been downrange and going through the same kind of scenario. And every soldier is asking right now. Okay. And they're doing it. What are we fighting for again? Do not be that city. Do not be that county. Do not be that state to where one of your citizens has to ask that question. They should know. If they don't know it, then you should have proved it to them. You should have shown them before they left. You should have practiced democracy so they know our protection of the republic. So they got something to come home to. Simplify, guys. Hoorah. Remember Gary Owen. For the Navy, I don't have nothing for you. But anyway, my thoughts and prayers go out. Like I said, I can't say enough because I know what they're going through. You guys be good. Be careful. If, for example, if you are military level and you see this and you won't get information about the command, or need to reach out or whatever, hit me up. I can actually, I'm not saying I got contacts, but I know these commands where I can actually get public information officers, something like on the line, and get them in direct contact with you, or you could have a direct line. You can talk to them. So if you need me, and I'm here. Everybody stay safe. God bless. God bless you guys.